I think it's a bit too early to call it that the hangover season here after winning Worlds is why Damwon Kia are struggling. They had a tough loss to Frederick Brion, a team they probably didn't prepare very well for. Then they've been slumping a little bit. Even their 2-0 over Afrika wasn't impressive. It didn't feel like form had been returned. In this game, there were some good moments for sure, but the confidence isn't back yet for Damwon Kia. They're not playing like a World Championship team just yet. And that's worrying, not for this series necessarily, where they absolutely could bring it back, but it is worrying for the future of this squad in this round robin. How many points they might lose or give away could really change how the playoffs are going to go. You know, we're still a ways away from that, obviously, but this is very surprising to see. It's just Damwon Kia struggling to bounce back, even with Coma right at the helm, who's dealt with so many teams coming back from winning Worlds. I mean, so many iterations of SK Telecom T1 coming back from Worlds and then still crushing it in Spring Split. And so far here for Damwon Kia, even with the 3-1 scoreline, they have not looked in dominant form.
No, and I think a lot of it has to do with the mid lane. Lava did crush Showmaker in that series, and Showmaker in the last game was basically absent, did not even 10k damage in, you know, a 50-plus minute game. And that's crazy. That's ridiculous. And then that last team fight being just a little bit of a mess. Missed opportunity there as Ghost thought he had it and didn't quite up against Ruler. So let's see what happens. We do have Gen.G now on our blue side, which certainly has been a pretty good side for most of our teams, not Damwon Kia in the last game. But of course, Gen.G have been winning on that side more often than not, as they do lock away the Kai'Sa for themselves this time, and that means Taliyah will be left up. As Twisted Fate was actually the final ban. Very interesting to prioritize that, as there's the Xayah on Damwon Kia's side.
Yeah, they're going to take the Xayah response. Seems like it's finally starting to really take off here in Korea in the LCK. And the Taliyah pick here, leaving the Taliyah open versus a Twisted Fate ban, definitely leaving you scratching your head a little bit, right, at this point. Very strong pick here for Canyon. And this was banned last game, the Azir. Being considered here for VDD, and it is taken. Gives you a lot of control in team fights, especially those objective fights where Damwon Kia struggled to grab control of early, and not expect to see the Udyr.
Whoa, okay. Udyr is going to be locked in. I actually feel like the changes, like the swap of the passive of Chemtank and the Sunfire Aegis, actually works heavily against that of the Udyr, because of course he loves the slow resist and the tenacity. It was part of the reason why he was so strong in the later stages, because you just get to run around and boot people in bear form. But not going to be able to quite do that.
Yeah, and we know too, Alice, that Flawless has been playing a lot of Udyr in solo queue. It's been that and the Kindred that he's been playing most right now. So, I mean, every jungler is learning Udyr at the moment after Pioshik made a big splash with it, but it's prioritized very heavily here, and the Taliyah pick still feels safer overall. You know, you have really quick roaming speed. You're going to be able to make a high impact across all lanes. As once again, we see that Aurelia ban.
Yeah, not wanting to see Rascal take it into the Gnar.
Yeah, Rascal's only option for a really hyper-aggressive CC top laner after the Camille and Renekton are banned. So I'm liking the draft a lot here for Damwon Kia so far.
See whether the, Rakan is going to get singled out. I think an Alistar ban should come through from Beryl. I think he did have some times in the first game. But the Syndra that they were showing a little bit earlier there for Showmaker is going to be banned away. Just wanting to get rid of some of the difficult matchups for the Azir.
Yeah, for Damwon Kia here, we'll ban away the Quinn.
I like it.
He had problems as the game went on, but he was one of the main reasons why he and Flawless were the two main reasons why that early game lead was so snowbally for Gen.G on the previous game. So do like this pick a lot, and it's one of Rascal's stronger oppressive top lane picks, as we see the ban on the Leona here has I think a flawless win rate currently in the LCK, but still not very popular. It's like 3-0 or 4-0, something like that. So one of the less popular supports here. Instead of banning the Rakan.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a huge amount of priority on the Lovers duo when it comes to the Xayah, especially overseas. Of course, it's China that's been picking up this Xayah more often than not, but it seems like it has infiltrated the LCK now. as we're seeing it for the second time in this series. The Zoe to come through from Showmaker. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to give him the redemption test because that has been removed from a playbook. But, you know, theoretically, if you're going to go some interesting on-use items, now you're not going to have, like, weird shared cooldown issues and things like that. And I think a lot of the quality of life stuff actually works out in Zoe's favor. As the set being considered, this is Life's very famous set, and he is going to be able to lock that one away. Could be scary.
Question is the top lane now. Where do we head here? Into the Gnar with all the removal. I mean, 4 of 5 bans for Damwon Kia directly towards Rascal. His options limited here. Will we see something like a Gangplank where you could dominate that top matchup, look for late game team fighting, the advantages he has, a damage output on top of really nice setup they have in the set. The Azir. Sion!
Okay, Sion going to be coming in. We're going to counteract it with a train. And look, often, you know, if you're going up against a train, you're going to lose. So I like it, and does give them a huge amount of frontline. Gen.G, they went from like this weird hit and run style composition that was, you know, trying to utilize an early game advantage in order to get a victory. And now they just have a brick wall, which literally has a wall in the comp. Thankfully, Damwon Kia, they can build their own. And let's just see whether their style of play is going to come out on top. Because, of course, the follow-up to any sort of bubble that is going to land is going to be huge. Seismic Shove, the Rel now locked in. 4-barrel alongside Ghost. They do have a lot of hard engage options after all of their pick and poke has happened. And look to see whether Showmaker can really find himself once again here in the LCK. He's had some pretty poor performances, but this is his Zoe. This is his like quintessential champion. And if he loses here, then it's going to be disastrous for the morale of Damwon Kia.
I completely agree. This is what feels like right now, this situation for Damwon Kia down 0-0 against Gen.G. It feels like this team and Showmaker are standing on the edge of a cliff. And if Gen.G take this 2-0, especially with this Sion, Udyr, Azir composition, that they are just going to fall off, right? How do you regain your confidence? How could you comfortably sit in your chair in front of your PC and play in the LCK and say, I'm the best team, I'm the defending world champions, I'm the #1 team, after getting 2-0'd by these kinds of compositions that are so out of the box? But on the other hand, I trust Gen.G with this composition. I wouldn't have if we hadn't just watched them totally dominate the early game with that Quinn composition just moments ago, and then still make the right decisions in the late game, still make those tough calls, and still bring it back. I trust Gen.G's composition here, as weird as it is. I feel like they know how to execute it.
I do too. I actually think that they've built themselves like a beautiful, just normal brick wall style of composition that can just comfortably fight front to back. They can set up around objectives. They can do everything that they shouldn't have been able to do in the first game so much better. And B2D gets a newly buffed Azir at the same time. It's only a bit of a change to the queue. It's going to make life a little bit better, but he also still gets to be a pigeon, and that's fantastic. Pigeons versus horses and prehistoric yordles and all sorts of weird and wonderful things happening this game. Oh, not to mention, you know, we've got what skin do we have on the Udyr? Oh no, it's the super cool one. That's not what we want.
Wait, I didn't see it. Oh, no.
We don't get Calvin and Hobbes anymore. I'm so sad.
Oh, the Sion skin is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a dope one, actually.
Oh, yeah, no.
I mean, it is a super cool skin, you know? It's the oh, wait, it was second legendary skin that came out, right? Because Pulsefire Ezreal was the first a very, very long time ago. This was indeed the second one. Yeah, no, it is super cool. It's really, really cool, especially when you change forms.
You don't get the Franklin Turtle and the
yeah,
like,
right.
Austin Powers Judo Chop kind of.
Yeah, the Mad movie is going to be way less fun with Flawless as Udyr. I'm afraid.
Well, Rascal did end up taking some early damage here. Totally fine. And back to lane. We'll start here for Canyon.
Yep, actually going to be stealing away this blue buff as well, but it is right under the noses of Damwon Kia. So under the noses of Gen.G, so Flawless can just rotate around. Information will be given over that this is going to be some vertical jungling, but there's not going to be too much of a response, as early laning phase going to be important. And you can see that Gen.G, utilizing the fact that their jungle is on the bottom side, and they're just going to zone the Damwon Kia bottom lane away as much as possible.
Yeah.
Doing so nicely here, as that minion is going to fall without Ghost being able to get even nearly close to it.
This top matchup is going to be really interesting. Not entirely sure how I feel about it. I've never seen it before.
We've seen a lot of it in the past. it's sort of a little bit like a wet noodle fight, unless the Gnar can get something really crazy done early. In the end, you can just have Sion basically ignore everything and just be a brick wall. As Canyon gonna find a boot back there onto BDD. Threaded volley not gonna come back off cooldown, but BDD's still gonna have to flash to get out of those pebbles. Now Flawless gonna try and augment his mid laner, but instead he's heading towards a minion, his chicken camp. That is gonna be the priority right there. I don't know why I was saying that he was gonna help his mid laner. Of course he's not. He's playing Udyr.
Well, yeah, he's not
Silly me.
for a little while, but right now, you know, the attempted kill from Canyon was unsuccessful. It's gonna cost him a little bit of farm. Not gonna be nothing too crazy, but Udyr has a really fast clear time, so it's actually gonna be zipping around the jungle and can get a nice lead for what we're heading to later. And so far, this matchup has been very Khan favored. Here, you know.
Oh yeah.
Up to level 3, he is crushing at the moment, pushing those waves into turret. The Talia pick,
sort of how it goes.
yeah, the Talia pick is one that they got early, and it is a very much standard and powerful pick. Gen.G's response was always going to be this Udyr. You know, we didn't know it at first on the draft, but this is clearly planned. But I wonder if Talia doesn't find value early, doesn't get any kills, so we saw one attempt from Canyon already. If Flawless can just run away with this game. You know, it wasn't talked about too much from you and I because that game was so crazy. We went to late game talking about win conditions, but feels like outside of some shaky moments for Flawless, we're gonna have a great
Barrel. Yeah, a bit of damage there is life. Utilizes the Haymaker quite effectively, and now can just regen back up.
But you and I were talking about this in the break, you know, outside of the stopwatch mistake and, you know, some otherwise positional errors, Flawless had a really nice game in game 1 and had a really cool build that probably saved Gen.G overall in those final moments. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do on this Udyr, something that's been a bit of a specialty for him, and perhaps might be one of the big reasons why, because he's been playing it so much, that he's starting over Clitier. They want to save this for game 2. But
yeah, maybe he had the better scrim results on the Udyr as Khan, I think, just hit the wrong target there, unfortunately. As, yeah, Rascal just going to be able to press his buttons, clear things out. It is going to still be a decent lead for Khan, but I don't think a Sion really cares too much about that. He has himself the Unsealed Spellbook, so going to be teleporting back to lane, theoretically. Actually, may not have to. Is going to do so anyway, as Khan might be forced into doing the same thing, as the wave will crash. So BDD clearing out underneath his turret. Priority does lie in Showmaker's hands, but not the CS advantage at this point in time. Things very even as we've got this lane sort of resetting and Showmaker coming back. As Rascal possibly setting up for a bit of a gank here, but he will walk over Vision.
yeah, I don't think this is going to amount to much. That Khan is like, okay, well, I'll push these again.
Yep.
He's going to have to slowly head back to lane, and we'll lose even more minions. Unfortunately, the Sion pick so far has been hasn't led to anything.
I mean,
How powerful it can be later on, but
yeah. The thing about the Sion pick is it's just not going to do anything until we get towards some of these team fights. We'll see how well Rascal's just going to survive, because that's basically what it's about. Is Gen.G going to be able to take down this Ocean Drake? Next one going to be a mountain, and then we'll get either an Infernal or a Cloud. A Seismic Shove is avoided. Showmaker gets the bubble down as a Facebreaker. Not going to be able to find the Zoe, as Showmaker's skipping around this one very nicely so far. Ignite comes on in, but Gen.G not going to get punished too much, just a bit of health bar. As the train comes in, but doesn't exactly land in the station. Khan just running around the Sion. And, yeah, devastating smash. Not quite so devastating, as Rascal might need to just figure out exactly. And normally they're on tracks, Wolf. Like,
yeah, he's unleashed. It's off the track.
Yeah, no. He's still going to dance it out, though.
Dancing.
It's fine. Always good to keep your spirits up, you know?
Skin is fantastic. Love to see it. Well, it's
Showmaker has a Shirelius. That's cool. No, it is. Yeah. And look, it's been a slow series so far. Yeah, you went on a bit of a holiday over our esports weekend.
Yeah, I did.
How was it?
I went to Gwangju and filmed some content there, and it was really fun. Everybody was very friendly. It's my first time really seeing the city outside of, you know, going to the KTX station and then transferring elsewhere. But
Yep.
what I found about Gwangju to be true is the food is the best.
So
part.
good, right?
It's pretty
I've
amazing.
had the pleasure of going there as well. Did you have the noodles, the barbecue noodles?
I did. I was actually the last thing I ate before I went home, and they were fantastic.
good.
Thanks for the recommendation.
No, it's just amazing. That was my favorite part as far as my culinary experience was concerned. I like that we've been speaking about your holiday for, you know, a decent amount of time, and there's been nothing really to talk about in the game apart from a few wards going down. You can see Gen.G with a lot of wards around this mid lane, as Showmaker still has a fair bit of control, and Beryl should be able to clear things out. But otherwise, I mean, BDD, it's a bit of an early game choice to go for the Comet here on the Azir, wanting to make sure that he can lane as effectively as possible, but it hasn't really worked. We'll have to see whether that actually does punish him as this game goes on, see how far he can actually get.
Yeah, I mean, I think that BDD's function in a lot of these fights over objectives is just going to be to have a really nice ult setup. It's going to work well with the Scion. There's so much CC actually for Gen.G, it's insane. Speaking of which,
Beryl got pooped.
Stunned. Yeah.
The horse getting slapped on the behind, just a little bit there.
Take this away, I think. I don't think you can fight for this.
Oh, BDD gets the flash out of Canyon. That was fantastically played, but Threaded Volley's still going to do a fair bit of work as Beryl goes for the engage, but he gets completely interrupted. Life now trying to run out of this one. Four-man Nara into the wall as Rascal finds a four-man wallop afterwards, gets congratulated with that first blood, and Gen.G limp away. The zombie Scion not able to catch up to Khan right here as the stuns come in, and they'll take a well-deserved Shelly. My God, just give him the pog right here.
Oh, I mean, that's all there is to it. Khan has had a fantastic start to this game, and it, you know, until that moment, it looked like, okay, you know, there's just no way this could be contested. It's been stolen away, and he just comes in. The big four-man stun, I believe it was. So I have to watch.
Yeah, that was it was a four-man Nara into the wall, and then a four-man wallop.
Yep,
it's just
chain
nuts.
them together, and that just turns everything around on its head. There's nothing else after that moment. That is the beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega of what will be a replay that comes up here in a moment. Like everything that happened before that, and everything that happened after that, nothing mattered.
As we watch, completely irrelevant.
So,
look, the Big Bang.
Gen.G have total control over this nice flash from Canyon away from the Emperor's Divide. It was a really nice engage from BDD, but then suddenly the damage output's really insane, and everybody gets grouped up into the wall here, including Life is trying to help them peel, and boom, four-man into four-man, and the fight is over. That's it.
Oh,
there's nothing else to write home about, you know?
And then Canyon, like, sets up the bowling lane and just throws the threaded volley in, like everyone having to flash to get out of the way. Let's have a look at this one. Oh my, that's so much satisfaction.
Double. Oh, 8 stuns in the course of 2 seconds.
And now everyone that was, you know, saying nasty things about Khan and Nar and things like that, they now have to take everything back because that was just beautiful.
And the way they corralled them in, too, to the wall to make sure that it was actually possible was so well done. I mean, you could try to say Gen.G shouldn't have rotated that way, but what other options did they really have? You know, they're the blue side team here. There's no way to try to go to the right. You're just running into a brick wall. You have to try to rotate down as fast as you can, and Life was trying to help peel for them. Just such a perfect execution from Damwon Kia. You can't blame Gen.G for that. You just have to give props to Khan and his quick thinking. Amazing.
Yep, that's why you sit back, you golf clap, and then you try and move on. If you are Gen.G, and they are going to do exactly that. Good threaded volley here onto Flawless, but he's Uga. He doesn't care. I'm just going to bounce out of the way of this turret as Rascal feels very upset about the health bar that he left on his minions, but Soul Furnace is going to help him out. This is now Damwon Kia. Should be able to grab their Mountain Drake.
Let me grab that one. Drake for a Drake here in terms of the control in this early game.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Once again, Crashdown comes in. Yeah, Life. See whether he can taxi to get himself out of the way. That face breaker was really cool. But I don't know whether you necessarily want to be flashing, like, basically 1 versus 3, because Ruler couldn't do anything about it. Like the aggression, though. I guess there's that.
Damwon Kia want to take this series back. You could see that. I mean, incredibly decisive plays, very aggressive early game here. Khan's 4-man to 4-man to aggressive bot lane crashdown. 3 kills to 0 right now. Already 3,000 gold to lead. Damwon Kia just not gonna back down. This top lane matchup, you know, obviously, I mean, not obviously for me, because this is fairly new for me, this top matchup. It's not been going the favor of Gen.G, but hoping for a later scale up as we're gonna watch this again. Life just, there's no escape here. Crash down into the attract repel. He tries to haymaker his way to survival. Face breaker there. Not gonna happen. Really nice collapse there. I mean, the top matchup is right now giving Khan so much freedom. He's just getting so much extra gold. He's 30 CS up. He's got a turret plate. He's about to get 2. Like, he's gonna tank it for the turret plate. Oh man,
why not? No cares in the world. As in goes Showmaker, actually doesn't find BDD with that bubble, so that's going to be good for the Azir. Could have actually just died there, as they do get a whole bunch of plate money. Canyon up towards the top side. He's going to be able to take down the enemy blue buff, and now look to cruise on over. See what he can do on this turret here, but this has been domination so far. We're very close to a 4,000 gold lead for Damwon Kia. And this is a great turnaround. Like, if you're a Damwon fan, it was looking like they'd really sort of lost themselves in the LCK, and it felt like in the first game, we didn't really think that it was looking much better. But this game is certainly an improvement. And after what was such a difficult loss, you know, 50, like, hour-long games are so difficult to mentally come back from if you do find yourself on the losing end. So this is huge props for Damwon mentally in this series.
Yeah, it's crazy how an hour-long game of League of Legends can be decided in less than 10 seconds in that late game. And that's just how it is. So that's one of the biggest struggles you're ever going to have as a player, one of the biggest losses you're ever going to take. Luckily, these are veterans and world champions, and this is a very big bounce back. Not so much for Rascal down here in the new side lane.
Rascal desperately doesn't want to use his ultimate, as now he gets he walks in front of Khan, and unfortunately he's not going to be able to get that one to work, but still gets to the safety of the turret eventually. Still will have to go home as Life and Ruler turn up. Khan's going to walk over a control ward. He just looks invincible. It's very scary.
I mean, Ghost is over here getting value meanwhile. Like, this game is so dominant from Damwon Kia right now. Controlling every lane, forcing BDD to get out of there.
There are still a lot of late game tools for Gen.G. It's not over yet or anything like that, but I just thought that Damwon certainly looked, you know, a little bit shaky, and they didn't look very happy after the ending of the last game. So I was thinking that maybe that would get into their heads in this series, but hasn't so far this game.
I thought so too, you know. I really felt like this was going to be, after that end of that first game, I thought, oh, this ends up being a really rough 0-2 for Damwon Kia. Fans still have questions, no answers for like where their mentality's at right now, and it's going to be like one of those things where you go, oh, well, I was hoping for an amazing series, we got a sad one, and now you're worried about Damwon Kia for the next series they play. But this is an insanely quick bounce back. I mean, sure, the game's not over, and it's a significant gold lead, but compositionally, yeah, there are tools in the late game for Gen.G to bounce back for sure.
Yep.
And their team fight, like their CC for the team fights later on is fantastic. And their setups for, you know, getting picks, really, really well built here. But we'll see if they can survive long enough to get there. BDD is like, okay, I don't have a turret to hide under anymore. Can make one.
This is a really long lane. And this is one of those things that you really like talking about as well. This is a Zoe that gets a very early turret. Now the map gets very, very dark, and you can play around all of these bubbles. Is now Ghost laning against Rascal. And oftentimes you feel like that's a bad thing, but not in this case. The gauntlet has been completed by Rascal as well, who has opted for a Ghost at the moment with his unsealed spellbook. Should be able to get on top of someone in the next fight if one does break out. I don't know whether Gen.G are in position to get any sort of fight going, though, as Khan underneath the turret turns Mega, crunches his way up.
There's a little goofy animation there with the sound and everything.
Yeah.
Well, Rascal's untouched right now in the top lane. That is definitely what Gen.G want. There's just no answer. BDD getting farm in mid as well. This is a lot of resources committed for Damwon Kia on the bot lane, but what? They haven't gotten anything.
Flash is traded there as Showmaker looking to bounce forward, doesn't find the bubble, but this wall will guarantee just out a turret as well, and Damwon Kia are just focusing on getting themselves turrets. Rascal going to be able to trade here towards the top side, but I don't think they mind too much about the Scion getting any extra money, because Damwon Kia are just doing their very best to fight around him, and they've taken down the outer ring already. It's 3 turrets to what's going to be won, because of course the next wave did crash towards the top side, so at least Rascal's going to try and deny as much CS as possible. But look at this, like it's so linear, this gold graph. Damwon Kia just getting further and further ahead.
It feels like that was a small macro mistake for them, though. I mean, yeah, you're not too worried about a Scion getting out of control or getting free farm on the top and getting a turret, but they didn't accomplish anything on the bot side. They committed a lot of resources there. BDD was also getting free farm. So I do feel like there definitely could have been a better response here, but yeah, it's just a smaller gold gap now than it was before. As Gen.G head towards that mid game, trying to stabilize a little bit.
Yep.
I don't know. I didn't miss what you thought was funny. I actually missed it. What were you giggling about?
Oh, nothing actually. I don't know. I was just having a giggle.
Oh, okay.
I don't quite remember. Maybe there was
I
something that happened on the map, but I actually like. No, Robo Wolf hasn't come back yet. You don't need to worry about that. Yeah, what I was going to say though is that Gen.G's composition is certainly very comfortable front to back, and so theoretically, if they can get themselves to a good position vision-wise and setup-wise, taking a team fight could still work in their favor, especially if they get on top of Ghost and Showmaker. And you know, the choo-choo train could certainly do that. But we'll see. I think Showmaker is going to be this target at the start of fights, because there's so much armor being built up on Rascal. Of course, the Frostfire Gauntlet does have a lot of mixed resistances now. It used to be a lot of armor, now not so much, as the train is just going to leave. Now it's going to miss.
Starcraft Vulture right there.
Yeah.
Wishing he had Spider Mines for the retreat.
Like it.
You know,
it's also like a StarCraft 1 reference as well. That's the dream.
There you go. The damage here, obviously, Khan he had the insane double stun and has been just bopping Rascal and Lane whenever they face off. But fortunately, Silent Pick hasn't done much yet. You know, this is actually crazy too. What I was going to mention is, I think this is the first time, unless I'm missing something along the way, that Rascal has played like a really weak side top matchup where he's kind of playing passively and is on the back foot and down CS and has to try to side lane when the rotation's there. He's like trying to be relevant, you know.
Yeah.
We'll see how those fights go later, but this is definitely the opposite of his playstyle. Like his depth is being tested a little bit here with the Scion pick, for sure.
Yeah, I like it. I actually feel like, you know, Rascal was a very good sort of utility tank player as well last year. It was when Gen.G certainly had the reputation of being a slower team that did just like to build compositions for Ruler to pop off in, and he could certainly do that here today. Kraken Slayer now completed, and of course does have his serrated Dirk. That Q going to be well empowered now. Now Canyon looking for BDD a little bit. Gonna find too much. As, yeah, the game is certainly once again very, very slow, even though we do have a 5,000 gold lead for Damwon Kia.
Well, I will say, you know, if we're gonna slow things down here for a second, that next time you go to Gwangju, try the Oditan, the duck soup. It is, if you haven't yet.
No, I haven't tried that one yet.
It's one of the best things I've ever eaten in Korea. I've never tried it before. Highly recommend it. Just put it out there.
That's huge props though, because there's too much good food here in Korea.
Yeah, I mean, I just had to let people know. Like, I hadn't tried it, the Gwangju version, and I needed people to know.
All right. It is certainly a city known for its food.
Yeah, it really is, and for good reason. So much good stuff I explored. But yeah, crash into the turret there for the Rift Herald. And furthering gold lead right now for Damwon Kia, 5,100 ahead at the moment.
Kind of just want to fast forward, but I guess we do have 25 seconds on this Cloud Drake, and that might be somewhere where, you know, at least Damwon Kia are going to try and get themselves towards Soul Point, get towards an Elder Drake as early as possible. It's not looking like a game where we're going to have 7 Drakes in it.
Yeah, this feels like the filler episode of a TV show or an anime where, you know, you find out like a little bit more than you really wanted to know about like Canyon's sister and like what her struggles are.
Yeah.
There was a fly in the meth lab, you know, it's like, I'm not, you know, it's very deep, but I'm really just trying to get back to the action. I love those kinds of episodes, but I know it's not for everybody.
Yeah, we're definitely charging a Spirit Bomb right now, off to the side. As Rascal takes a bit of a paddle star there, and it is going to be Damwon Kia that just collect themselves this Cloud Drake. And you can see Gen.G a little bit behind, and they're not going to be able to even get very much relevant damage onto this outer turret in the mid lane either. Honestly, just flailing about a little bit. as we do have the Randuin's completed for Rascal, so he's slowly getting tankier and tankier. But
yeah,
it's still a bad sign for Gen.G.
Yeah, I mean, their composition is so based off of their engages in team fights, and Ghost is, you know, once he gets his build completed here, I mean, which we're still a ways away from it. He's got a lot of pieces at the moment. Once he completes his build, he's gonna be able to do quite a bit of damage if left alone. So I think it's a big vision control situation, just like the last game. And obviously, every game that goes longer and longer, it's gonna be about vision because people just die so fast. The more items that get finished. But Gen.G really need to control the CC. They need to control choke points. They need to have a big Emperor's Divide, right? Udyr needs to get on top of the back line. Maybe Udyr needs to chase down anyone who's side laning. There are ways to really get ahead with better positioning or just picks with Gen.G's composition, but otherwise, you know, I mean, the damage output is pretty insane for Damwon Kia already. And it's only going to ramp up with Xayah. There's the Essence Reaver completed now, second item.
Yeah, Ghost is actually pretty huge. And Flawless is absent. Like, he just doesn't exist this game. He's getting completely out-farmed by a Talia. You pick Udyr so that he can, like, take control of the jungle and farm so fast that he gets to be in the positions that he wants to and can counter-jungle his opposition. He absolutely hasn't been able to do that this game.
Not even close.
Yeah, the Udyr pick really not working out as he's trying to look scary here in the mid lane, and you can see it's Ruler that's the scariest. Crashdown comes forward. His life going to get booped back, and Canyon... Oh, almost threaded volleys into death, but now he gets booped by the Udyr. Still, just going to wander away as Shifting Sands from B2D gets himself over the wall. He's going to be absolutely fine. But still, it just feels like there's more and more getting taken here by Damwon Kia.
Yeah, Khan just checked vision in the bot side. He knows that he's alone. Going to finish pushing that wave. They're just taking all of the map right now. Taking the Krugs even right now as Khan. They have so much warding. Another check comes through from Barrel. Make sure, okay, they're just staying mid. You can stay there, Khan. You can take another wave, probably. And I think he definitely will, because they have so much information. Look at the words. 2 words on both choke points for anyone coming to rotate a deal with Khan. He's just down here saying, okay, this is mine. I'll take it. Thank you.
Doesn't have too many minions.
Coming? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, only one caster creep there meant that he couldn't actually get any relevant damage onto the inner turret. But with this next wave coming forward, Rascal has to turn up, gives away his position, and now Damwon Kia know that this reset was absolutely free. And, oh, that feels bad. I haven't been watching the cannons too much. I know there's been a few heartbreaking ones, but that one was just especially sad.
I'm just looking at this the skin for the Scion, and you know, I don't know, when I was younger, Transformer type stuff was so cool to me.
He's like a Gundam.
Yeah, he's like a Gundam.
Gundam,
yeah, Gundam. It's like a Transformer slash Gundam. Like when you're a kid, you think a car turning into a towering, scary robot machine is awesome, but as you get older, unless you like the Transformer movies, but I don't, you know, you just kind of grow out of it. I don't know. It's like, oh, a car became a robot. That seems so cool when you're young, but the older I get, the less cool I find it. It does look.
I like the toys a lot because I was like a huge Lego fan, so I liked the idea of, you know, the Transformers transforming into other things and stuff like that. Like toys that actually do stuff. Was always good. Canyon over the wall here, looking for Flawless potentially, is now Ruler. Gonna have to supercharge, but the Weaver's Wall not gonna quite catch them out of position. Now Rascal moves on in, has his Soul Furnace shield up, so he's getting close to 4,000 health now.
I mean, he is going to be impossible to kill. That is basically the name of the game here. Look at Canyon hit him and he just doesn't care.
Yeah, just walks. Lumbering oath, as it were.
But until this moment, you know, where he's really started to move forward on the map and actually put some pressure on people, almost like I was having an existential crisis on whether or not he existed in this game.
All right, Phase Breaker, flash out from Showmaker. That's good. Still going to be a flash for flash, and the Ignite now down for life as well. Exactly the hugest deal is, oh dear. Shifting Sands comes in. That's a beautiful Magnet Storm as Beryl takes control of the fight, gets out in the nick of time as well as now life. He's going to try and break some faces, but he's going to die for it as Canyon picks up the kill, and now Rascal's in trouble. Showmaker finds the bubble as well, as you can see the ward right in position. Goodbye, my friend. That is a dead Scion. The zombie not going to be able to do anything either from over the wall. It's Flawless. He runs really fast, but that's not helping them in this fight at all. As the boulder comes forward, Ruler trying to stand his ground, and another beautiful Gnar into the wall. The Empress Divide's decent, but it's not going to save BDD. And Gen.G, they're just falling way too far behind now.
Yeah, remember when I said I trusted this composition for Gen.G? I've lost my faith.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Baron easily. You know, I'm still missing the understanding of how this Scion works with this composition. Like, I see he's tanky. I see he could offer a lot in team fights. I'm going to watch this replay again. Nice flash from Showmaker. Everybody's pretty far forward here in this fight for Gen.G, including Rascal. But it's just Barrel. Crash down into the fight, pulls everybody in, and look at the damage output. Canyon is helping to keep the members from retreating mid, so they actually have to take the long way around. That's actually a really nice play from Canyon. Then life gets picked off, and there's just no way to escape. Like, Flawless is desperately trying to run to the top side of the map. Sleep goes down here on the Rascal. Nice cut off there. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure out where the Scion fits in here, but he's very tanky. Can threaten you a lot in some of these longer fights. Can help set up for your damage dealers, but he's mostly dead weight, unfortunately, in this game, and a big play from Barrel is going to guarantee them this Baron, which is no doubt already done in live.
Yep. Well, it's really completed. And yeah, the Scion works if you can use him as follow-up engage, right? Like, you just drive a train into the middle of a fight, you know, set up for a huge Emperor's Divide coming out from BDD. But if he's just ulting one singular Rel, who'd already done her job completely, then you're not getting any value whatsoever, right? And he's just a little bit too far behind at this point in the game. 0, 2, and 0. Of course, like, we are 2 turrets away, 2 turrets and a dragon away from a perfect game here for Damwon Kia, who have themselves the Cloud Soul. They're looking to now break open the base. This is looking very decisive, and this is the beauty of Talia as well, because you can just guarantee that these sieges work out in your favor.
Yeah.
There's Khan with a big old Naba. Looking to try and get in here, and they should be able to take 2 inhibitor turrets. And Khan's just playing frontline really beautifully right now. He's looking so threatening as there's the train, but it's once again lands only onto one. There's the showstopper though, as he gets thrown out, and I think they're just a little bit too far behind. Rascal goes golden, but he's going to die afterwards. And there it is. It's a double kill for Ghost, as now Flawless is being hunted down. Khan looking to try and get back to his team now. They don't really mind about what the Udyr is doing because he's done basically nothing this game. As they'll take down this inhibitor. The top lane one is also open, free and available. Damwon Kia will... Yeah, it looks like they're trying to just take down these Nexus turrets. They're done with this game. 30 minutes is well and truly enough time. As Showmaker goes golden, back to his portal as well. As Flawless is here, but Ruler's off to the side. You can see Khan just hops on top of him. The crash down gonna be avoided, but you can't avoid the Acathian Rain. That one's targeted. As the Emperor's Divide does not find them, that's a really high-value stopwatch. As Canyon is gonna burn to death, and it's another double kill for the Zyre. I think that might be an unofficial quadra. As the Nexus is now exposed, Flawless is still here. But he's just still not doing anything at all. The Nexus falls down as he's running in circles.
Yeah, is he there? He's gone.